In this week's Do Something With Your Marketing, I want you to commit to doing more in-person events. Now, this could be conferences, it could be trade shows, it could be local meetups, it could be coffees and breakfasts and dinners. But I want you to do that with people that are not currently in your professional circles. Here's why. I was listening to a podcast with the chief data scientist of LinkedIn, who's explaining how their algorithm works and how other social algorithms work and how they optimize for the kind of results that they're after. Higher member value, higher engagement, more tangible actions that matter both to the user and to the business. And something he said struck me, which is the algorithms are optimizing for the maximum value that a person gets out of the network. But that's contingent upon a person knowing what's valuable to them. When we talk about professional development, training, learning, growing our skills, very often, especially once you get later on in your career, very often you get comfortable. You don't challenge yourself as much as you should. And unless you're constantly being exposed to new ideas, new people, new concepts, challenging concepts, things you may disagree with, your growth slows down. When we look at these algorithms and how they are structured to give us more of what we want, something that my martial arts teachers have said to me is what you want is not necessarily what you need. You may need a swift kick in the butt. You may want to be spoon-fed all the answers. And if you don't get what you need, you don't grow. And even worse, if you get what you want, sometimes that can lead you down a very, very unproductive path professionally and a very destructive path personally. When you talk about people being radicalized, for example, in politics and security, that's someone who's following the path of what they want, but not what they need. Professionally, we need to be challenged. Professionally, we need to be exposed to different people, different ideas, different opinions, in order for us to have a much broader perspective on our field of study. And going to Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, WhatsApp, wherever you get your information, you're dealing with an algorithm that's optimizing for you, for the things that it thinks you're going to like based on the things you already like. Well, that's great if you want to always be the person you've been. If you want to grow, if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to move in a new direction, what does that mean? That means you're going to have to like things you don't like, right? Or you're uncomfortable with, and explore and be challenged. And the algorithms will not give you that. The algorithms will not give you the things that you don't necessarily engage with, because you may be presented with a new idea like, well, I don't know if I want to push that button. You don't push that button, the algorithm doesn't know that it's actually good for you, and you stay where you are. By going to conferences and trade shows and events and meetups and meetings with people that you don't know, as uncomfortable as it is, particularly for someone like me who is much more of an introvert, that's how we challenge ourselves. That's how we grow. I've been on the road the last few weeks, and I've been able to talk to people who are not in my daily circle. Well, they weren't. Now I follow them on every social network because it's easy to push buttons like that. But in discussions with them, I learned. Some of them civilly and politely challenged me. They said I was talking at an AI event about this piece of software I was working on, and how I was struggling to tie these two technologies together. And one of the people at dinner said, well, that's just about the worst possible way you could put those two things together. Why would you do it that way? And I said, because it seemed like a good idea at the time. What's the better way? How would you do it? And they said, well, I would take piece C and actually make that piece A, leave piece B where it is, and then rearrange these things. And I'm like, oh, okay. I went back to my hotel room, tried it out, and like, yeah, that's not bad. And then that in turn spurred me to do some more research and go, oh, there's an even better way than what we were talking about over dinner, but I never would have had that thought. I never would have explored that avenue if I had just been comfortable with where I was. And if the algorithms and the social algorithms and the search algorithms and all these things kept saying, yep, here's another thing you might like. Here's another thing you might like that's just like the thing you already liked. That's not what I need. What I need is, no, that's not a good way of doing that. And then for me to go, okay, I need to brush up. I need to refine those basics and get better at them. So what I want you to do with your marketing is look for those opportunities, and you don't necessarily need to spend, the thousands of dollars to go to some big conference with a crazy price hotel and thousands of people. You can do the same with a local meetup with 5 or 10 people. You can do it online too if you're pretty far out from a major metropolitan area, or you're in a part of the country or the part of the world where conferences don't come a lot. Yes, you can go to virtual things, and that's better than nothing. But there is something we said for sitting down at breakfast with somebody, or sitting down at dinner with somebody at an event, going, "Hey, here's what I'm working on. What are you guys working on? What are you gals working on? What's on your plate? What's challenging you?" And listening to the answers, and going, "Oh, that's a really interesting idea." The other thing you can do, that's more passive, but will start to accomplish the same thing if you just cannot, for whatever reason, get to events, is start subscribing to podcasts that you wouldn't normally listen to within your field. So and make the time for them. So if you are in analytics, maybe you subscribe to a data science podcast. If you're in a data science podcast field, maybe you subscribe to a market research podcast. With the proliferation of podcasts, there's something for everybody, and there's all these things in these related fields that you're in that can help you go, I never thought about it that way, or I don't know if I agree with that. And that will give you those connections in your own mind that will let you think differently, think more broadly. But I would encourage you, if you can, if your company can, if it's within your budget to do so, definitely try to make it to more events to have those real world interactions that lead to ideas, and the ideas that then lead to growth for you and for your business, because that's where the magic happens. As always, if you have questions or comments, if you disagree, leave a note, leave a comment. I think it'd be interesting to see what you have to say. And of course, please subscribe to the newsletter and to the YouTube channel. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit BrainTrustInsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.